Hello, hi, and welcome to our YouTube channel Rai Sir Maths Classes. I, Priyansh Rai, welcome all our viewers and subscribers to our channel. In this video, we are going to study about how to balance the chemical equation, what are the effects of oxidation in our daily life, and how to cure it. In this video, we are going to start by recapitulating the basic terms, that is chemical equation. What are chemical equation? Chemical equation are the shorthand written chemical reactions in terms of symbols, formulas, and the ratios of their number of elements of reactants and their products. Now I am going to tell you how to balance a chemical equation. By balancing the chemical equation, we have to understand the basic terms which we have studied in 9th class, that laws of chemical combination. There are two types of laws of chemical combination. First, law of conservation of mass, and second, law of constant proportion. Law of conservation of mass stated by A. Lavoisier, which means that mass can neither be created nor be destroyed in a chemical equation. In this chemical equations, there are two reactants and a product. So they are equal in their mass. Mass can neither be created nor be destroyed in a chemical reaction. Second one is law of constant proportion. What is this law? This law stated by Joseph Proust. Joseph Proust is a very popular Greek scientist who tells that the reactants are in a constant or a definite proportion. So this law is also known as the law of definite proportion. In this, we know that oxygen is a very important part of our daily life, and plus water is also a very important part. So how we write water in chemical equations? H2O. In H2O, there are two elements, hydrogen and oxygen. So how many elements does hydrogen contains? Hydrogen contains two elements and oxygen contains one element, that is equal to. Now we have to revise the periodic table. So what is the atomic weight of hydrogen? That is 1 multiplied by 2. It is having 2 parts. Now in oxygen, what is its atomic weight, or we can say atomic mass? It is 16. 16 into 1, because it is containing one element. Now we get 2 and here 16. So we have to find out its ratio, that how much ratio of hydrogen and oxygen contains in water. So to find out its ratio, we have to divide it 2 upon 16. 2 ones are 2, 2 eights are 16. Now we find that hydrogen is to oxygen in water. Now we have to find hydrogen is to oxygen. How much ratio it has? We have found that it has the ratio of 1:8. So we get that hydrogen is to oxygen is in the ratio of 1:8 in a molecule of water. Now we are going to start one of the most difficult and important part, that is how to balance the chemical equation. We have studied the two laws, that is law of constant proportion or law of conservation of mass. Now we are going to apply these two laws in balancing the chemical equation. So to do this, we have to understand the basic concept and to count the number of atom it is having or the reactant it's having. So we count, there are two reactants, that is sulfur and oxygen. Here it is same. Now sulfur is having 8 molecules, so we write 8 here, and oxygen 2. Here sulfur does not have any number, so it has 1, and oxygen has 2 atoms. So we can see that our oxygen is balanced but sulfur is not balanced. So to balance it up, we have to multiply it by 8. Now we are getting 8 molecules, which is balanced now. But we can see that it has a relation with O2 also. So it is getting multiplied by 8 also. So we are getting 16. Now our oxygen is not balanced. So we have to multiply it by 8. Now what is the chemical equation now? Acid plus 8O2 will give us 8SO2. Now we are going to know the most difficult, and most of the students are getting difficulty to face this type of chemical equation. CaSO4 plus NaNO3 will give us CaNO3 whole twice plus Na2 plus SO4. In this, we are going to consider SO4 and NO3 as one because these two are groups. So we are considering is Ca, that is calcium, as you know. SO4 is sulfate, Na and NO3 is also a group. So we are going to calculate Ca. Here it is having one part, SO4 is 1, Na is 1 and NO3 is 1. Now in the reactants we are getting all the ones, and now we are calculating the products. In products, Ca is 1, NO3 is having twice, so we are going to have it 2. Na having 2 atoms and SO4 1. Now we can see that Na and NO3 we have to do it constant, so we multiply this whole term by 2. So our equation is going to be balanced. So what will be our next equation? So this will our new and the balance equation. Now we are going to have a more difficult equation to balance it. So as you can see, methane plus oxygen will give carbon dioxide plus water. Now we have to balance it out. So we write C means carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Here we are also having carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Here carbon is comprising of 1, hydrogen 4 and oxygen 2. Here carbon 1, oxygen 2, hydrogen 2 and 1 more. So we are having 3 elements. Now as we can see, our carbon is balance. Now we have to balance hydrogen. So hydrogen we have to multiply it by 2 to balance it. Means we have to multiply this whole by 2. So we get 4 here. But it is being also multiplied by 2. So here we are going to have not 1, 2. Here 2 and here also 2. So it will become 4 now. So here we are going to multiply it by 2 for a balance equation. Now it is 4. So we get a balance equation, that is CH4 or methane plus 2 atoms of O2 will give us CO2 plus 2 particles of water, that is H2O. To solve this type of equations, we have to learn all the symbols of each elements. So calcium symbol is Ca. Hydroxide we have to write like this, hold twice. And we are having carbon dioxide in the form of CO2, calcium carbonate and water in the form of H2O. Or carbonate we have to write like CaCO3. Now we have to count all the elements. Either this is balance or we have to make it. Now calcium we are having 1, here 1, O we are having 2 and H we are having 2. In this C means carbon we are having 1 and O plus 2. In this C we are having 1, O we are having 3, H we are having 2 and plus 1 more O, that is equal to 4, and it is equal to 4. So we can see that it is a balance equation. So we are getting the equation like CaOH whole twice plus CO2, as we all know carbon dioxide is CO2, will give us calcium means Ca, and carbonate will write CO3, and water we all know that it is H2O. So we are having our balance and the correct chemical equation. Now we are going to solve last but not the least chemical equation, that is zinc plus silver nitrate will give you zinc nitrate plus silver. So we have to write the name of the element. Zinc we write as Zn, silver is Ag, and nitrate is NO3. Here also zinc, silver and nitrate, that is NO3. So it is having Zn plus Ag NO3 will give you Zn NO3 plus Ag. But as we know that silver nitrate we have to write in the form of Zn NO3 whole twice. So we are going to write like this also. So now we are going to write number of atoms comprising in each. Here we are having zinc 1, zinc 1, Ag 1, Ag 1, NO3 1, but we are going to have NO3 2 here. So we have to multiply it by 2. So we are going to get like this. Now Ag become 2. So we have to also multiply it by 2. Here we can see that our nitrate is going to be balanced. Now we have to balance Ag, that is silver. So we have to multiply it by 2 and we are getting like this. So I am going to write it properly. So we get Zn, that is zinc plus 2 Ag NO3 will give us Zn NO3 whole twice plus 2 Ag. Now I know that zinc nitrate is going to be right in the form of Zn NO3 whole twice, but if you want to know, so you can form it as we all read in the next previous class how to make chemical formulas. So you can also do like that, or you have knowledge, so you can do like this also. Now according to our NCERT book, we are going to know the effects of oxidation. So first we have to know what is oxidation. As I told you in the previous video, that is, oxidation is the process of gaining of oxygen. So what will be its definition? The process by which we are going to, or a atom or a molecule is going to have a particle of oxygen is called oxidation. Now it are having good and the bad effect in our daily life. So we are going to know two bad effects, or we can say that it is a chemical equation or it is a chemical process. So we are going to learn it up. So there are two effects, that is rancidity and corrosion. Rancidity is very familiar with us, and corrosion is also, which we also called as rusting. Now we are going to know what is rancidity and what is corrosion. As we told you, we are very familiar with corrosion or with the process of rusting. During the rainy season, we are going to see that everywhere rusting. So now what is corrosion? Corrosion is the process of slowing conversion of metals like iron into their undesirable form, which we are not using, by reacting with atmospheric gas and moisture. So we are going to know rusting in iron. In this, two particles of Fe, that is iron, will react with 2 by 3, that is 1.5 particles of oxygen plus X. Why we are using X here? How more the water it will get, it is going to be more rusted or more useless. So we are using X coefficient. Then it will give Fe 2 plus O3 dot means multiplication. X H2O, it is the process of corrosion. X is then constant value. We can take anything on the place of X. And now we are going to know what is rancidity. Rancidity is the process of slowing conversion of oil and fat in the food, or we can say that it is going to be contaminated. Now we are going to know the method of prevention from rusting, and or we can say that corrosion or rancidity. So as we know that to do all these process means rancidity or corrosion, two basic things, that is air and water, is needed compulsory. So by adding antioxidant, that is salt and oil, we can cure it for long. By vacuum packing means it is having no air, so how it will get rancidated or corrosion will take place. By replacing air by nitrogen. As we all know, in the process of corrosion, it is going to be react with some particles of oxygen. So we are replacing air. Air is comprises of all the gas, so it is having oxygen also. So we are replacing air by nitrogen to use it or to use a food item for a long, or we can refrigerate the food stuff for a long period of time. As you know that mangoes are being available in the winter season also, how it going to be preserved? It is going to be refrigerated for a long period of times. By the completion of prevention methods, we have completed our NCERT first chapter, that is chemical equation and reactions. So I would like to thank all our subscribers and commenters who have commented us and boost our morale. So I would like to say one thing, that is thank you, and please, who are watching our channel first time, please subscribe our channel, like, share and comment our fault and what we have to make it more effective.